road to securing voting rights for women began in Seneca Falls, New York in 1848 at a women's rights convention led by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. 4 years later, Susan B. Anthony became a prominent member of their ranks. Anthony and her colleagues challenged the nation's practice of not allowing female suffrage through public actions, such as illegally voting in elections and questioning whether or not the 14th Amendment extended to women. In 1878, this group of suffragettes proposed an amendment to the Constitution that would not prohibit the right to vote based on gender. It took 41 years for the proposal to be ratified. Little progress was made before and during the Civil War, but the Reconstruction era saw advances in social reform. And in 1920, after 4 states had allowed women's suffrage and Theodore Roosevelt had featured it in his political platform, the 19th Amendment came into being. After all, didn't democracy demand the equal voting rights of all citizens? But for the 4 decades after the women's suffrage bill was introduced, few members of the government believed women should share these equal voting rights. Susan B. Anthony, considered the Napoleon of the women's rights movement, began an active movement to change the male-dominated nature of government.
She was a prominent American civil rights leader who, along with Elizabeth Cady Stanton, led the effort in securing women's suffrage in the United States.
The more we examine the subject, the more distinctly we shall see that the right of the woman to participate in government stands upon the same foundation as it does to support the claim that men have with this great right. If he has a natural right to participate in government under which he lives, then she has a natural right to participate in the government under which she lives. For either to exclude the other is usurpation and wrong. Again, women equally with men is subject of law and government, in common with all other citizens. She is bound to know the law and obey it. When she violates it, she is arrested, arraigned, tried, condemned, and like any other citizen, put in jail. The prison doors are shut firmly against her as any other offending citizen. Her womanhood does not excuse her from punishment. The law takes no thought for sex for an apology for crime. She is taxed without representation, governed without her consent, and they could very well ask the question, is this right or just?